And I'll just get my water.
All right. Now, if you want to turn to page 15, I'm going to go over the post-assessment results from Matthew.
Okay.
Okay, so in September, Matthew was given the Woodcock-Johnson test that went over writing and reading. And during this test, he was taken out of the classroom, so he was in a breakout room where he was just one-on-one, so no other students were around. But in this test, the writing part, he had to write simple and complex sentences when given a prompt. So Matthew was showing a little bit of difficulty when he was writing a sentence, but the prompt was not a difficult level. So this was a 9th, 10th grade prompt. And his ability to write sentences based on verbal prompt fell in the average range. So with that test also, he was able to spell 11 out of 22 words presented correctly. So that also was in the average range, but he also was showing improvement there.
Does he, when he does his writing assignments, is he with you, or does he stay in the classroom for that? I know you said for this test he was taken out, but for the regular teacher assessment, or not the assessment, the teacher writing prompts.
Yes, he is in the classroom with the general ed teacher for English, but with this test, he was taken out with me. And any of the assessments, he's always taken out into a breakout classroom, so it's just one-on-one with the teacher.
Well, I know he uses his Chromebook to type up his assignments, even for his other classes, and they have spell check on there. So do you think that hurts him as far as this test? Because with the writing, he didn't have access to that.
I mean, no, but that does bring up a good point, because they are able to use their Chromebooks in their English classes now. So everybody has a Chromebook that they're assigned to, and he actually does all of his writing projects on his Chromebook. But with this specific test, he actually was given a written response that he had to write. So he was not able to use any of the spell checks. And also in that test, he always got the beginning and ending sounds correct of the word. So he was not showing any drastic misspellings, but his misspellings were recognizable as to what word he was trying to spell out. So that was in regards to the writing test. And if you want to go ahead and flip to the next page, that's when we are going to go over the reading test. So with the reading test, this test was given in August of this year, and Matthew was given a 9th, 10th grade level passage where he had to then write a response to that. So within the reading, he was able to comprehend 45% of the questions, which again, that's a little bit below average, especially for his grade level. But he was able to answer 6 out of 8 in terms of the comprehension questions and what the passage was actually asking him.
He struggles a little bit. I know I had a conference with his math teacher. When she gives him assignments out of the textbook, sometimes he doesn't understand what they're asking him to do. So she has to help him. So what kind of support or help do you recommend for like that math class that'll help him? I mean, if he's only at 9th and 10th grade, or that was the passage, I guess. I just wonder what I need to do at home maybe to help him a little bit.
So since Matthew is a senior and he's only at the 9th and 10th grade level, it's not a huge area of concern, but we have made graphic organizers for him. So with myself and the aides that are in the classroom, we've really been emphasizing highlighting and writing key points in each passage. We've also done guided notes to go along with these, because with these assessments, they are testing the comprehension skills and the reading and the writing. So also with this reading test, he was able to give 6 memories about the passage. So in terms of his comprehension skills, he was not showing any major difficulty.
Now, when he took that, was that fiction or nonfiction?
This was a nonfiction passage. So I know that he has mentioned that he likes to read at home, but have you ever seen him reading? What does he like to read?
Well, we get, we get Sports Illustrated, and he likes to read those articles. I don't know if he's reading them or he's just looking at the pictures. We also get different hunting magazines, and we get like Motor Trend, car magazines, and I know he will read that, and he shares some of that information with us, but he's not reading it in any length of time.
So he has also shown in his grades, looking at those as well, in health especially, they are given articles that deal with sports or real life, diseases, things that are interesting, injuries and things like that. And since he really likes reading Sports Illustrated, when it comes to, those types of things, he is showing a little bit more. He's a little bit more successful in that area, whereas, if he picked up a Shakespeare novel, he doesn't really, and I know that those texts are a little bit harder to understand, but he is able to comprehend, fairly well. So, he was given 6 out of 8 questions and answered correctly on comprehension. So,
I know we have an iPad at home also, so I'm thinking maybe if we downloaded some, I know you can download books on there. I think that you could download magazines. Maybe he would be a little bit more willing to read if we utilized that device.
Yeah, and then we've also mentioned that to him on the iPad. The school also offers iPads to the students, so if that is something that, we can take note on and hopefully pursue that, that would be awesome. But on the iPad, you can download Quizlet, which we also have tried with Matthew in class, and Quizlet allows you to make vocab cards and pull out words, keywords from passages, and review those words, and even allows you to interact on the screen and highlight the words that you're trying to pick out in that passage.
Now, will those helps, am I able to access any of that? Like, is it on, I know we have Progress Book that I can look up his grades, but I didn't know, is there a website that the teacher has, or is that different?
So for the assessments in class, those will always be on Progress Book, but when there's state assessments and things like that, those will always be mailed home. And if you needed other further access to that, you can always contact the counselor or Matthew's administrator to get those results. But in the ETR meeting that follows this at the end of the year, the school psych will have all of those assessment results for you. And I know that within the next 3 months, he's going to also have another writing assessment that is going to see where he was from the benchmark that he took in September.
Now, do all of his teachers have access to his scores, his strengths, and weaknesses? So I know the math teacher did, and obviously the English teacher, but what about his health teacher and his science? Do they know that maybe if they ask him to read something that's on 11th grade level, he might not be able to complete it unless it's modified?
Yeah, so this year actually in the district, we actually were audited, so now every teacher has to sign off saying that they received the IEP, the ETR, so every single one of Matthew's teachers has access to this plan for him. As far as the assessment results, since these just happened, they do not see those. They will be on the IEP where their teachers can eventually access them and see what is happening. But in terms of, does he need to be pulled out of the classroom? Does he need to have one-on-one assistance? They do know that, and they are complying with that in each of the classes, whether that's health, English, math.
Does Matthew need to talk with his teachers if if he's in a class where he has to do a writing assignment and they don't have a Chromebook? Does he have to ask for one so that he can have the spell check and all of that? Or is that something that I should make sure that he has with him every day?
So usually the teachers know, but I have talked to Matthew, and he shows very great communication skills. So he seems to have no problem going in and telling his teachers that he needs a Chromebook or whatnot. But I can also send them an email or talk to them individually and make sure that he is getting the Chromebook right away, because I know sometimes he comes into the classroom and wants to talk to his friends and whatnot. But he should have access at all times, and I will get on him and reminding him with that. And he's also to write in his planner when he is using a Chromebook and in what class he's using it.
Okay, well, I think I'm happy with the results. I mean, he's grown, obviously, with this reading, so I'm glad that we were able to bump that up a little bit.
Yeah, and he's shown, he's definitely improved, and those are my hopes for the next test that's coming up, which leads me into my next topic of state testing. So there is state testing that will take place. So Matthew, is a little bit nervous about that happening, but I've told him that he does not need to be nervous about that at all, because he's obviously improved from the past test in September to now, just within his classroom testing, not these specific tests. But with exams in the class, he's also going to be given, the accommodations that he needs. So with the exams in class is when he still will be pulled out. But when it comes to state testing, those are state mandated, so he has to take those tests. So he will be in a classroom with other students. However, he will be able to have extended time, but those will have to be completed in a classroom with other students, which he's aware of now.
Okay. Well, I'll make sure that he knows that, so he doesn't get upset if he has to stay in the classroom.
All right. Well, did you have any other questions in regards to the testing?
No. I think that's coming up pretty soon. And will there be test prep for those state tests?
Yep. There's several teachers that offer after school testing, but during our classes, especially the few weeks before the upcoming test, we do pull them out and take them into the breakout rooms and do test questions and help them prepare for those tests.
Okay. Well, I think that sounds good. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.